Oh, it's been a while. Do you want to do another review together?
I live in Canada now. I can't just get over there and do a review. I'm here doing Canadian things like,
But you like Irish and Celtic things, right? So what if I told you I had a board game that was all Irish and Celtic things? Jesus Christ!
Game, please.
Don't do that. Don't. I don't. It's not. It's not.
Is it in your pants?
No. Today's review is in this.
Great. Let's open it. What's in this?
In this.
Yeah. What is in this?
In this. Yeah.
Right. So
Yes.
what is in this?
It's the game that is in this. Are you excited?
I don't know.
Why not?
Because it's not clear. What is...
In this.
Marriage has changed you quite substantially. It's not...
Oh, wizened and wise, shut up and sit down viewers. Do you remember our distant early days and our reviews of Cyclades and Comet?
Those weren't really the distant or early days.
Our earliest, most ancient days.
I mean, Cyclades was like our second season. It was a way into our second season, and Comet was after that.
But the point is, we were young and excited by these uniquely designed...
It's not that far into the past. You can't really romanticize
uniquely designed games set in fascinating and beautifully realised periods of history, Paul. Cyclades was all about ancient Greeks battling over island chains, currying favour with the gods to build cities, and Comet then, years later, saw us rampaging around ancient Egypt, riding giant scorpions and raising armies.
Ooh. And those are things that actually are ancient Greece, ancient Egypt. That's like 100 years ago. Also ancient is the world of Innis, Celtic legends of distant lands and people. Things like Tír na Nog and Finn McCool. Am I saying that correctly? I don't even know. And you know why that is? Because...
What? No. Why?
Because I have had my heritage erased by oppressive English teachers who thought it was more important that I learn how to do bus timetables and fractions and learn about types of woodlouse.
I mean, you are 90% English. This is kind of like...
Look at that beard. Look at the colour. Look at that. Look at how I don't tan.
You're like her from
I'm wearing green.
The only thing that people at home need to know isn't about Celtic mythology. It is that, just like Cyclades and Comet, this is a stupefyingly simple yet very good game of little men running around having adventures with each other and gods on a board. The real question then is whether this is as good as Cyclades and Comet. And my friend, I wouldn't lie to you on a day as hot as this. Paul and I think it's better. This is the best game of little men on a table that we've reviewed this year since Forbidden Stars. Edging out Forbidden Stars, it has just a sixth of the rules, which is like a plane taking off with a sixth of an engine.
So what are you doing in Innis? You're exploring a strange new land, a land that will be different every time with your coloured clans of people, searching out misty moors, dark, murky mines, strange stone circles, and all the time you're trying to exert your influence over this new land, spreading your tribes of people around or finding and settling new places. And eventually, if you spread far enough, if you gain enough influence, then you become the new king of this exciting realm. My Celtic congratulations to you.
So what we have here is a game of miniatures combat and area control, and this might be what you'd expect it would play with people off in distant corners and then some nice territories in the middle, and you all start claiming them. No. Innis is something more immediately exciting. A game starts with just one area per player, and you're all mixed up. And it's kind of awful because, while yes, there is an entire continent to go and explore and expand into and host festivals in, you're going to be doing it with your friends beside you every single step of the way. There's just no room, as we can see if we look at the board compared to this ordinary reference men here. There's a weird sense throughout Innis that you're almost friends almost all of the time, and it's just that you're friends who explore and feast together, as well as occasionally killing people together and hiding the body in a thicket. There are 3 ways you can win Innis, but they're all simple. You can simply have a clan in 6 territories. You can have a clan in territories with a total of 6 of these brown sanctuary tiles. Or you can be the chieftain of 6 clans belonging to other players. Being chieftain simply means you have the most clans in a place, so if you end up overseeing 6 miniatures belonging to other players across the board, that's a win too.
So what Quinn's just explained is kind of all you really need to know, because the rest of the information you require is on these green order cards or action cards. They're all individual, unique things that you can do on your turn. You'll be dealt some of these at the start, and you'll begin drafting them. And each one does one very specific thing. You'll grab one, pass the rest around, come back to you, and you can actually, if you change your mind, swap out and then grab two, pass around, and so on, until you have a hand of unique things that only you can do. And you sort of want all of these, because one of these will be the card that helps you move, one of these will be the card that helps you build a settlement, one of these will be the cards that helps you attack. So clearly you have to just have all of these and simultaneously deny all of these to everyone else, except you can't do that. So it's an enormous Celtic compromise from the start. Whatever you're going to be doing, this is going to be your special thing that only you do this turn. Maybe you're the exploring player and you go to a new realm, or you just move some people, or you repopulate, or maybe you're the festival guy. You have a festival. What's a festival? It's a thing where nobody fights. You're just like, we're going to have a festival here. No fighting. Just sit down, have a nice time, and clearly it's not what's happening. I mean, you're probably like leering at the other clans, like across the banquet table, and muttering into your mead, and passively aggressively not washing the cutlery so other people can't use it afterwards. But you could be the festival guy this turn. That could be you.
So you now know roughly how Innis works. Let me and Paul walk you through a bit why it's so tactical and so much fun. So for a start, this green deck you're drafting every round, you always burn one card and draft every single other card, which means in every round, you know one player is going to attack with a conquest. You know someone's going to build a castle, and you know someone is holding the Geist, which means that the Geist can zap any other green card and stop it from happening. But you know it's coming, so it's never annoying. You just wonder who's holding it. And maybe it's you, because it's always someone. And you're wondering what that burned card was, because one thing won't happen, and what's it going to be? And that changes loads of things. And oh my God, let's talk about maybe Innis's most exciting rule, which is clashes. That's what happens when someone moves one of their miniatures into another area. And there are a few cards that do this. And in Celtic mythology, that's your home. You can't move into my home. How dare you? And then a clash happens. And a clash is the most European interpretation of dice-based miniatures combat I've ever seen, because every player has to first decide whether they want to fight. Do you want to fight?
No.
No, I don't. I think I do want to kill you.
No.
Yeah, I want to kill you, so we're going to have a fight. And if there's multiple players, you all have to agree if you want to have a fight. And you have to do this between every single attack. So if I kill one of Paul's men, do you still want to fight?
No.
Neither do I anymore. It's awful. It's just funny whether people do or don't want to fight. You end up laughing about it. But here's the really interesting thing. When you attack, and the person who moves in attacks first, you pick a colour to attack, and that person has to remove a miniature, or they can remove one of their green cards from their hand, and then they get to attack you back.
No, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight.
I'm sorry, I'm attacking. Which of those do you want to lose? And see, this is the interesting thing, because it's not just a case of numbers. If you attack someone where you weren't expecting them to put up a defense, but that area means so much to them, then they might start burning green cards, which are their plans. Those are their actual turns of this game to stay alive. And maybe that's what you want, but maybe you misjudged, and maybe now your soldiers are dying, and now they can't play, and now it's awful for everybody. There's just so many interesting decisions, and there's no random chance. It's just, you walk into an area, and your friends do something interesting, and then you do something interesting, and they do something interesting, and then some people are dead or not, and then you're looking at a board state, and it's really...
I want to fight, actually. I want to fight.
Oh, you want to fight?
I want to fight.
Let's do this.
So fighting is actually a huge deal. It's a terribly exhausting affair. It's a drain on your resources, and the thing is, it doesn't even always work. If you fight out in the open, that's great. You can maybe kick someone out of a territory, but gradually you'll amass these citadels, which are safe havens that people can plop their figures into, and then they just come out at the end of a fight, and you haven't actually kicked them out.
Hey guys, what's going on? Are you fighting? That's cool. I wasn't fighting.
It's such a jerk thing, but it means that Innis is not a game about just having more figures than the enemy and beating them into submission. You've got to time things right. It's about maneuvering. It's about the right use of tactics. It's not just about, I've got a bigger number than you, and so I've won.
No, it's so tremendously thoughtful. So many games of miniatures you will play, a player might do well, and then players will throw numbers at them and bullshit at them, whereas Innis isn't. I mean, the example that we give people is that there's only 2 cards in this green deck that really let you attack, and then maybe you draft both of them on the last turn of the game, and then none of your friends can attack you and stop your plan. But that's okay, because they've got sneaky bullshit that they're going to be trying to do anyway. It's like...
Well, the thing is, right, you're not going to have a runaway victory either, because you have to grab one of those sort of tokens that's like waving a flag, like, I am about to win if you fulfill the conditions.
You have to do that instead of playing a green card on your turn, so it's like, hey everybody, by the way, you have to stop me now.
Which is an instant catch-up mechanic that everyone can get their toe in the door and
and
ruin
yet,
your plans.
Here's the thing. Innes doesn't make it easy for players to ruin those plans, especially if you're clever with which cards you draft to prevent players from playing those cards against you. But instead it does something more fun. Rather than forcing your friends to take a victory away from you, what Innes does is it says, okay, what if two of you can win on the same turn? And if that happens... you keep playing until someone can fulfill 2 of the 3 victory conditions, which is like going into a penalty shootout. It's like, I've won! And then you find out that you've won as well. And then it's like, well, now we have to both win again in a different way. How am I going to do that? And then maybe the cards you've got don't let you do that.
This is the thing. I like how much of the game is not actually about just suddenly playing a card and saying, by the way, I've got this and now I've won.
No.
There's none of this. Everything is so visible. You can see victory creeping across the board, and you can do things about it. There are all these signals that say, "Hey, you should deal with this." It keeps it tight and competitive.
The masterfully craftedness of this game is such that I can look at Paul's miniatures and go, "Paul will win in 2 turns," and then he'll have the next time I go, "Paul will win in 1 turn," and then I've got a hard time limit for me to win as well.
But you're not going to let me do that because you're going to pick up cards that will prevent it.
Should we talk about the red and yellow cards?
Or we could talk about the brand.
Oh my god. Okay, let's do the red cards first.
What are the red cards, Quinn?
I'm glad you asked. So I've spat on the board. Some of the green cards allow you to draw epic deeds. If you play a bard, you can get a red card. And here's the thing. This massive deck of fluorescent, horrible, psychedelic god cards, you would think they are super good. And they go into your hand and they stick around between turns. They're not actually that good, all these godly actions you can take. What they are is hyper-specific.
Right, and that can make them really good.
Yeah, so what you end up doing is you draw a god card, and it's like, oh, well, next turn now I've got 5 actions instead of 4, and this one's really good, but you will draw this card, and then you'll look at it and go, well, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to, during a clash, as a maneuver, remove 2 enemy exposed clans. They'd have to attack me first. How can I get them to attack me first?
Yeah.
And so you have players trying to sort of break the game, but in ways that even they didn't want to do.
And also, here is, don't touch my capital, the capital city in the valley, which players will be don't touch my capital, even remotely, will constantly be fighting over, because if you have more influence in the valley, in the capital than anyone,
Look, I'm the Bren now.
You'll be the Bren. Do you want to be the Bren? You're the Bren. Which means if there is that endgame tie we've been talking about, then there actually isn't that endgame tie, because you won, because you're sort of like this most influential beardy dude. But it also means, keep it professional, it means that you get to go first, which is also useful. Every turn you get to go first.
No, it's not useful. It means that you then go last, which is terrible because it means someone else gets to mess with the board state.
There are situations where that's useful if you're the Bren.
The point is, the one thing we told you where this isn't a game of fighting and you just want to spread out and not fight, there's also a capital city which players are going to be fighting over for the whole game because bringing the Bren is so useful, because then you just win if you can win.
Yeah, so ignore the thing that we said about ties. You could potentially
You just want to think about this puzzle all day, don't you? It's really good.
Do you want to be the Bren?
Yes, I want to be
the Bren. I think you'd be... No, I'll be the Bren.
You can be the Bren.
You should.
What?
Nothing.
We've talked before about how much more entertaining it is to adapt to your friends and surprising things that are happening rather than simply to plot an efficient path through the puzzle and integers on the board. And with Innis, it's one of the most vibrant puzzles we've ever encountered. You have no idea what you'll draft or what your friends will give you. You have no idea what areas will be on the board or what special powers those will have. And you have absolutely no idea what epic deeds you're going to draw or how your friends are going to play, because of course you have no idea what they've drawn. Every single turn in Innis makes you think and surprises you, and then how well you perform is simply how well you can think on the spot. Oh, it's good.
Do you know what?
What?
It feels like to me.
What?
It doesn't feel like it's just some empty system. It feels like it's alive.
That is true.
So, do we recommend this box?
Oh my god.
And also what's in it?
Do we ever recommend it? This is one of the
So
easiest
much.
shut up and sit down recommends we've ever done.
It kind of is, actually. I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited about how easy it was to just learn, to pick up and play, and yet the amount of different things that happen and the possibilities, the fact that just the card playing, the action system, so many things happen in so many different ways. It's up to you whether you hang on to cards to use them as a reaction later, or you become a pioneer and push forward with some new tactic, even though you know that other people know that you have those cards because you know they sent those. All that sort of stuff. Every game is going to be different. You're going to have different realms come out in the next game. You're not going to see all the realms in 5 or 6 or 10 games.
I mean, so many of the genre of tiny plastic men on a table, you are able to confidently consider all the maths, think hard, and then go, this is the correct thing to do. With Innis, I'm not sure I've ever made a move in Innis where I'm like, this is definitely the correct thing to do. You just don't know. You're watching everyone. You're thinking so much. And yet all the decisions you make are never sort of difficult or complicated. It's only ever simple sort of A and B forking, but you never quite understand.
You don't know what's coming next.
You never feel secure. It is just
reacting.
It's so tense.
Responding.
So tense.
And it's kind of sort of interestingly psychedelic with the art as well.
Oh my god.
Goodness.
Let's talk about the art for a second. This is one of the most interesting illustration jobs Shut Up and Sit Down has seen in ages. Like the boldness of Matago doing this Celtic, not watercolor?
Celtic kaleidoscope of
it definitely
psychedelic.
Whoever drew this licked so many frogs before putting paint to brush.
You get Celtic high? Do you like huff moss, or
you definitely eat
rub
moss,
a rock,
or you just rub a rock on your chest for ages and then you just start tripping. But it's seriously, the art is gorgeous, and specifically the fact that they've kept the most psychedelic stuff for the Godly deck, where it feels like such a reward even drawing one of these and going, oh my god, what?
That's a bit sexy.
That is sexy. That is just the 1980s metal
prog
cover
rock album thing.
It completely puts you right back in the time of Paul and my
lovely art, lovely pictures,
ancestors.
Lovely figures, lovely little bits.
Oh god, and then just the tiny castles, the tiny soldiers. We talked about with Captain Sonar, another Matago game, FYI. But where you look at the components and you go, I'll play that. Then you learn it and you go, yeah, I'll have a turn. And then you finish a game and you go, yeah, I'll play another game. And then you're 80 and you go, Paul, do you remember when we would play Innis?
And I'd be like, yeah, that was yesterday because we're still. I could be playing this
still
for
playing.
a while. I could be playing this for a while.
Yeah.
Do we recommend it?
We recommend it.
Just to be clear.
And I think we even recommend it above Cyclades, which is not something I thought would ever happen.
I might do, yeah. I mean, it's not the end of the year yet. It is probably one of my games of the year, I'm sure. I don't know what could not make that happen apart from nothing.
There you go. Shut Up and Sit Down recommends. Even though there's enough stuff in the box that every time you play it, you'll see new stuff. There's 2 really funny things that just happened when Paul and I played. So I didn't see these for my first 2 games, but there are a couple of areas in Innis that might make this the most English war game ever. One of which, I just found Stonehenge in one game, which is ludicrously exciting because the ability you get for being chieftain enables you to, when you play one of these red god cards, you can sacrifice someone and play the Stonehenge card to get the god card back. And as soon as you see that, all the players around the table go, could I break the game with that? And everyone starts thinking, the answer is yeah, you probably could, but more power to you if you figure out how. And then this, maybe even more English than Stonehenge, some shitty planes, where the power of the planes is that people can leave the planes for free because they don't want to be in the planes anymore. Isn't that funny, Paul? Isn't that English? Paul?
Oh, the assassin can't see, he's blind, so he's really bad. He's really bad at being an assassin because he can't see. Canadians are so funny. Oh.